Hi, my name is Gene Allen. This is part 4 of HIPAA and FileSure. This is related to section 164.312, part 4. Part 4 talks about how you have to use an authentication system to ensure that unauthorized access to ePHI, electronic personal health information, is not allowed. Typically you use Windows NT users and groups for doing this, and that's fine and good, and FileSure supports that. But FileSure also supports a method which is really kind of nice if you have a lot of users or a lot of groups or a lot of turnover or people moving in and out, and that's to use naming conventions for the users or the groups. A lot of large companies do this so you can know what it is just by, or who it is just by looking at their username. Like for instance, if I was HOU Allen GB, you would know that I was from Houston and my last name is Allen. My first initial was G and my middle name was B. Or initial. So FileSure also supports that model. For instance, right now this is our protect data, and we're denied read access to all users, and then we exclude them if they're opening with this file, these programs. But if we were to say all users, if we were to show all the users that this rule applies to, we do it this way, and we see all sorts of users. Now, we could change this to be just people who have A in there, to start with the letter A. And this is a nice way of, this is just an example of how to use a naming convention. So in this case, only usernames that start with the letter A will have this rule applied. And there they are. Then you can change this to be anything you please. Another nice one, I'll change it back, is you can do the same sort of naming convention rule modeling on group names. So for instance, if we say architect, I'm not going to spell the whole thing out, and I just say arc, this will only show you the users that are in that group. So that means that this rule would only apply to those members of the group. And that's really kind of nice. For instance, if you want to exclude those users, you can actually say, don't let this rule apply to those users, but do apply to everybody else. So by using a combination of exclude and include and username filters and group filters, you can actually set up a pretty uniform method of handling your security for HIPAA Section 4.